Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this meeting number 42 of Mumbai Speakers Toastmaster Club. I am Ritik, Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. I would like to begin by stating the mission of a Toastmaster Club. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. I would like to give a few instructions that we need to follow in the online meeting environment. I request all the speakers and role bearers to prefix their role to their name so that it's easy to identify them. All the speakers are requested to do a quick audio and video check before they start their speech. Request the speakers to also confirm that they can see the timer cards before starting the speech. I would request you not to type in the chat box when a speaker is speaking as it disturbs the speaker. You can use the private chat to provide feedback. Do not click on share screen button unless your speech or role requires you to do so. You can display a high five or namaste when taking over or leaving from a role. You can connect with me for any technical glitches. I'm also your Zoom master for today. This meeting is being recorded. In case you have any reservations on your speech being recorded, please let us know and we will post the recordings there. Please turn off your cell phones or set them on silent mode while you are speaking. If you are a speaker, other times anyway, you all are muted by the Zoom master. There are three ways of giving applause. If your video is on, you can clap like this or use the reaction button on your Zoom screen. Click the clap motion on that. Now, it's my privilege and pleasure to welcome the presiding officer of the day. With thunderous applause, let us welcome the president of our club and the presiding officer for today's meeting, MTM Toastmaster Sudha. Over to you, Toastmaster Sudha.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ritik. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 42nd meeting of Mumbai Speakers today. Well, a whole year has actually passed by. We sitting and observing it passing by. So many emotions, so many jubilations, some lows, some tribulations, and we are here on the last meeting of ours today on the 26th of December. That 26th December, again being the last week of the new year, has another very significant meaning. One is the fact that it is also called Boxing Day. Now, it's got nothing to do with the boxing sport. It's obviously got to do with the fact that we box our gifts to give it to people. Diwali has it, Eid has it, and Christmas also commemorates the importance of gifting. And why is it gifting so important? The tradition was started by Queen Elizabeth, and it went on to probably having more significance in Great Britain and other Commonwealth countries, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, where servants, tradespeople, and the poor traditionally were presented with gifts. And I think the tradition still goes on in different manners on a daily basis, maybe more on a significant way during festivals of each and every religion has their own way to give importance to this particular act. It's an act of kindness and it brings a smile to a stranger or a loved one. And I think a thoughtful gift can make an average day truly extraordinary, sometimes even newsworthy. So what happened is eBay, the company which was the Amazon kind of peer portal, did a research and it found some handful of stories which celebrated the act of giving. So this was just one of them I would like to share with you, that there was a kid called Ray Moeller Jr. who was 4 years old. He woke up with a pain one day in both of his hips. The pain brought Moeller to the hospital. He said, I was there for 8 hours and I was so scared. And when I got to go home, I couldn't wrap my mind around the fact that there were kids who were still going to be there in the hospital for a longer time because the treatment was not over. Molar's birthday just happened to be on Christmas Eve. And that Christmas, thinking of the children who were left behind at the hospital, Mola, only 4 or 5 years old, he chose to donate half of his birthday and Christmas presents to the children who were staying back in the hospital. And its mission was to make the hospitals more kid friendly for the young patients, with more than 500,000 gift bags, toys, movies, electronics donated to children in hospitals across the country in the last 13 years. Now, Molar's Foundation is still going very strong. In addition, Molar also aligned with a 13-year-old Agha Haider, who was home with a broken leg, binge watching TV, and saw a show of Nickelodeon featuring Mola and the Little Saint Nick Foundation. Haider was captivated seeing how one kid can make a difference for so many. He emailed the foundation to see how he could get involved. Haider and Mola today eventually started corresponding, and last month at the St. Louis Hospital, the results of Molar and Haider's joint efforts brings around 100 volunteers and helps to pack about 300 gift bags filled with gifts like stuffed animals, coloring books, and everything else which would make the children in the hospitals a smile on their face. I mean, a very small example of giving, and if you give it with your heart, you think about what you're doing and how it can bring a smile to the face, and probably news as well, because it's never been done before. So next time when you're gifting, especially around this season more, please think about what that gift can do to you. It doesn't need to be materialistic. It can be even a small painting or a small word, or even an act of motivation when you meet a person, which can change a person's life. So with that, let me get on with the proceedings of the meeting. And it's my joy today to introduce the Toastmaster of the day. Now, she is a very new member of our club, and she has joined us with a bang. Now, why with a bang? She just came as a guest, and she's got an award already. And after that, she's never turned back. She's a pharmacist, a mom of a 1-year-old boy, an avid traveler, having 10 years of pharma brand management experience, and now working in developing Cipla's new product line. She loves traveling. She loves listening to podcasts, gardening, and cooking. I wonder how she gets time to balance so many activities. I'm sure her energy can be felt as she comes on the stage and captures the audience. So with all our enthusiasm, let us welcome the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Shama. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudha. Hope I'm audible and visible. So that day, I was talking with my husband regarding my plans for next year, like 2022. So I was telling him that I'm going on a trip with my friends. I'm on a road trip with my friends definitely this year. And as soon as Jan starts, I'll go back, join the gym, because last year it was not possible to take care of myself. And we have to scout for our kids' play school because he'll be turning 2 next year. And there were laundry list of things. He was listening to me quietly and he replied, "Don't you think we always plan for future and we forget to absorb good and not so good moments which made us what we are today?" So that struck me very hard. This year, 2021, 12 months, 365 days, lot many things happened in our lives. And one quote I remember when I think of 2021 is the Darwin's theory ka quote. The quote is survival of the fittest. Not only physical fitness, but also mental and emotional fitness was most important this year. Recently, Google has shared its search report. This report, which talks about the people across the world who has typed the questions. The highest five was how to heal, how to stay strong, how to be resilient, how to be mentally strong, and how to come back. This makes me feel that the world has suffered a lot, but the world is equally resilient and healing. But don't you think that we always majorly emphasize on the sad part of our life? Maybe our brain is hardwired like that. But I feel that each one of us in this planet has beautiful moments experienced this year. So before saying a bit adieu to 2021, let's rewind the memories and the moments, and also recharge ourselves, learn from our mistakes, and also set some good intention for the new year resolution, so that when we are old and gray, we will look back our life with curiosity, amusement, and hopefully a sense of fulfillment, and we can say that yes, I have lived my life. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guest speakers. It's my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all for the 42nd meeting of Mumbai Toastmasters Club. For the benefit of the guest speaker, I would like to share the format of the meeting. The meeting is divided into three formats. The first is the prepared speeches round, where the speakers will be delivering the speeches based on the level and the path chosen. The second part of the Toastmaster session is most fun and excitement filled, which is table topic round. It helps us to think and speak on our feet. It's also called as the impromptu session. The third and the final round is the evaluation round, where the speaker's speeches as well as other aspects will be evaluated, followed by general evaluation. So as I am the Toastmaster for the day, there is a tag team which will help us to run the whole session very smoothly. So coming towards the tag team, the first tag team is the timer of the day. The timer of the day is Toastmaster Ajay. I would like to call upon Toastmaster Ajay. So Toastmaster Ajay, as we have already shared that yesterday was Christmas and this year is full of surprises and today is Boxing Day. So I have prepared some envelopes for each one of us, and we can open it. It comes up with excitement questions, which we will learn more thing about yourself. So can I open the envelope for you, Toastmaster Ajay?
Please, yeah.
I would like to share the screen once again. Hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
It's not moving ahead. So Toastmaster Ajay, the most important goal that I have achieved this year, we would like to understand from you.
It's very good question, Shama. The most important goal that I achieved this year, it's a lot of the project I involved for my company. I mean, it is the global compliance project which we as a team worked fantastic, and we also got a lot of reward from our management and from the global team. So this 2021 is very good year in terms of company IT rollout and the project we done for the company. So this is really very nice for this year. We did fantastic job. Yeah.
Great.
This is the yeah. Thank you.
So hopefully this goal will help you and your company as well as the country for in the IT.
There is a lot of big plan the management, and we will going to execute starting from January 2020.
Great. So Toastmaster Raja, I would like to request you to share the timing guidelines for the benefit of the group.
Yeah, thank you. Very good morning to everyone. As a timer, I will be helping the speakers to express their thoughts within the time limits. My duty is to prepare time speeches, table topic speeches, speech evaluations, education sessions during the meeting. To help me in performing my role, I have the set of 3 colors. Let me share. The green card indicates qualifying time for your speech. Yellow time for is indicate target time for your speech. The red card indicates maximum time allotted to you. Let me share my screen just a minute. You all can see the screen? Yeah. The sessions we are divided into 4 parts: table topic, evaluations, and the icebreaker, and the speech. The table topic, we have a time allocated 1 to 2 minutes, and I will present green card in 1 minute, yellow card in 1 minute 30 seconds, red card in 2 minutes, and disqualification time is 2 minutes 30 seconds. For the evaluation, we have 2 to 3 minutes allotted time, and the green card I will present at 2 minutes, yellow card I will present 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red card I will present 3 minutes. For the icebreaker speech, we have allotted time 4 to 6 minutes. I'll present green card at 4 minutes, yellow card at 5 minutes, red card at 6 minutes. For the prepared speeches, we have allotted time 5 to 7 minutes. I will present green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, red card at 7 minutes. For the prepared speeches, we have a grace period of 30 seconds of either side of the time limit. I will present the timing report when called upon by the Toastmasters of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jay.
Yeah.
To track on the good and not so good grammar, we have grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Hardik. Hello, Toastmaster Hardik.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Toastmaster Hardik, can I open an envelope for you, if you allow?
Sure.
So Toastmaster Hardik, the skills that I have acquired this year.
Well, I had acquired to negotiate with clients this year. I wasn't good at it, but I learned to negotiate well this year with clients. That was my achievement. That was the skill I got upgraded this year.
I think negotiation skill is always required in personal and professional life. So yeah, great achievement. So Toastmaster Hardik, you would like to understand the grammarian guidelines for the day.
Sure. So as a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any misuses of the English language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. So for today's meeting, the word is reminiscent, which means tending to remind one of something. An example of using this word is the sights were reminiscent of my childhood. Each speaker is encouraged to use this word of the day. I will give a word of the day report and grammatical usage report when called upon during the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Sharma.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hardik. We would request you to post the word of the day reminiscence in the chat box so everybody can go through it. Thank you. So to track on R's and Ums of the speeches, we have our R counter, Toastmaster Vishal. Toastmaster Vishal, may I open envelope for you?
Sure, Toastmaster of the day, Shama.
Thank you. So the envelope says, an obstacle challenge that I have overcome this year.
An obstacle challenge that I have overcome this year. I can't really say fully that I have overcome, but this is something that I am currently working on, which is to kind of, what do you say, keep my anger under control. So that is something that I'm currently working on. I'm a lot better than what I was a few months back. Definitely, it's a ever improving process. So keep getting better in that area, I guess.
Great. So tackling anger, I think it's the biggest achievement for anyone that could take place. So Toastmaster Vishal, can you help us with the counter guidelines for the benefit?
Absolutely. So good morning, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. My role as an R counter is to record unnecessary sounds used by the speakers and the role bearers. They include the crutch sounds the filler words, but, like, so, okay, the filler phrases, you know, and so, etc., and extremely long pauses. The crutch words or filler sounds obstruct the smooth flow of the speech, can be annoying to the listeners, and at the same time decrease the value of the speech. Therefore, the R counter notes these words and phrases in order to help the speakers become aware of them and minimize the use of these words and phrases in the future. I will present the R counter report when called upon by the general evaluator at the end of this meeting. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Shama.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vishal. So guys, hold on your breaths because the first round of the session is about to start, which is the prepared speech round. So the first speaker coming on the floor is Toastmaster Walter. He'll be presenting level 1 of part 3, which is presentation mastery. So Toastmaster Walter, can you project Toastmaster Walter?
Yeah.
So Toastmaster Walter, can I open an envelope for you?
Of course. Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you. So the envelope says that the biggest memory of this year was.
Okay, the biggest memory of this year was. So basically, biggest memory of this year is, according to me, is the struggle we did in pandemic. Actually, this will be remembered for the years to come. For me, actually, personally, we never locked down. So because of the export-oriented activities happening in our campus, we are closed just for 2 months or so, and the rest all over year we are traveling to office place and all. So biggest memory is the struggle we did while traveling on the road and all, then finally get into the passes from the railways and all, and then traveling through railways also. But then we'll have to be very alert and be careful, so that my biggest challenge was to not getting infected, because back at home, the virus was spreading and all. So my biggest memory of this year is the traveling and that struggle what we did for committing to office and all. I think that will be biggest memory for me. Thank you.
Absolutely. So this year has made us more stronger on the positive side. So before giving the floor to Toastmaster Walter, I would like to call upon the evaluator of Toastmaster Walter, that is Toastmaster Deep, to share the speech objectives. Toastmaster Deep, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sharma. So today, Toastmaster Walter is attempting his level 1, project 2, speech 2. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to the second speech. So in his speech, he will apply the feedback he received in his previous speech. Timer, please note The timing length for this speech will be 5 to 7 minutes, and Toastmaster of the day, the title of his speech will be Achieve with All Your Heart. I wish Toastmaster Walter the very best of luck, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Sham.
Thank you.
So, Toastmaster Walter, achieve with all your heart. Achieve with all your heart, Toastmaster Walter. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharma, and very good morning to all fellow Toastmaster and guests. Am I audible and visible? I'm facing some internet issues. I hope I'm audible and visible.
Yes.
Thank you. So, taking you back on my last speech, I concluded my last speech stating that whatever will be circumstances, no one's achievements are unachievable. The right time, right place doesn't matter. You'll have to be right person to achieve whatever you wish to. I also talked about how Anandibai Joshi became the first woman doctor of India with all her struggles. For her convocation, their university has invited Pandita Ramabai as a special guest. She was a Sanskrit scholar and educationist. Pandita Ramabai's life is also equally fascinating and inspiring. She was born in 1858 in present days Karnataka. Her parent was two wandering the Brahmin scholars. Learning and grueling poverty were the constant companion of the Pandita Ramabai childhood. Family lived peripatetic life, reciting shlokas and narrating the stories from ancient texts to public and surviving of the charity. During those years, Pandita Ramabai acquired knowledge in the Sanskrit from her parents. Her parent used to encourage her to read the script from the old text herself. When Pandita Ramabai was 16-year-old, during Great Famine of 1876, she lost her parent. However, she continued the family tradition along with her brother. Pandita Ramabai's fame as woman adept in Sanskrit reached to Calcutta, and the Pandits over there has invited her to speak. In 1878, the Calcutta University conferred on her the titles of Pandita and Saraswati, acknowledging her knowledge in Sanskrit. In 1880, she lost her brother. In the same year, she got married with Bengali lawyer Mr. Bipin Medvi. It was intercaste and interreligion marriage, so it was considered as inappropriate during those days. The couple had a daughter whom they named as Manorama. However, within 2 years of marriage, her husband passed away, and Pandita Ramabai, at the age of 23, along with her infant daughter, returned back to Pune and started her work over here in Pune. She founded the Arya Mahila Samaj Mandal. During those days, Pandita Ramabai was able to draw attention of reformers and missionaries and their admirations. With the money earned with her first book, the Sri Dharmaniti, and the encouragement she received from St. Mary's community, Pandita Ramabai motivated and decided to travel to England in 1883. Her first intention was to study medicine so that she can serve the woman back over here in India. However, she couldn't able to achieve that goal. The many reasons are very fascinating reasons are being told. Some people believe that Ramabai is a definite couldn't able to get her in admission to the medicine. However, some people claim that the progressive thinker Ramabai has simply refused to adhere the hierarchy and the principles of the St. Mary's community, whatever the reason, but she has to leave her medical career path and continue teaching Sanskrit over there. She had taught Sanskrit around 2 years in Cheltenham Ladies College at London. Then she received the invitation from the USA to attend the convocation ceremony of Anandibai Joshi. So she traveled to USA. Over there, on arrival of her in USA, the New York Times published the article detailing her work in the field of social activities, including women's rights and education. While Ramabai was giving lectures over there and participating in progressive causes, her second book released, The High Caste Hindu Woman, and cementing her popularity across the USA. By the end of 1887, many organizations sprouted across the USA, the naming as Ramabai Association and Ramabai circles to support the Ramabai's work, to publicize her work, and to finance her work. Pandita Ramabai was also invited in the International Women Council held in Washington in 1888. Proficient in 7 languages, Pandita Ramabai also translated the Bible in Marathi from Hebrew and Greek. In 1889, she traveled back to India. She formed the Mukti Mission, the school to child widows. In 1896, severe famine, Pandita Ramabai traveled across the villages of Maharashtra, rescuing the outcast children, the orphans and the child widows, brought them under the shelter of Mukti Mission. There were around 1,500 residents during those time under the Mukti Mission's facilities. Ramabai, it is told that she has broken all the rules and all the traditions which confine the life of the high caste, upper caste Hindu women. With all difficulties, she endured as the independent woman and single mother to Manorama Bai. She ensured that Manorama, her daughter, gets proper education in abroad as well as back over in India. In 1920, her health began flag and she handed over all his responsibilities of Mukti Mission to her daughter Manorama. However, again, tragedies strike in her life. Her daughter Manorama died in 1921. That was the biggest shock to Pandita Ramabai. And then she couldn't come out of that shock. And within a few months, she also died in April 1922. If you look back, the achievement of these two great personalities, 150 years back, how the social and economic situations, whatever they have achieved, according to me, unbelievable and miraculous. I, as myself, couldn't able to complete 1% of this. I do work hard, I do acquire new skills, I do complete my projects and all, but whole my motive is materialistic things, my salary, my money, my position, my fame. However, their motive was to well-being or social well-being. I put brain in my work, they have put their heart into the work. Once you have put your heart into something, your passion, your focus, and your commitment is far more ahead than anyone else to achieve your goals. As Sadhguru says, if you are committed to achieve something in your life which is very near and dear to you, your mind get organized into that direction. Once your mind get organized, the way you think, way you feel, the way you think, the way you feel, your emotion get organized. Once your thought and emotion get organized in one particular direction, your whole life energies get organized in that same direction. Once your life energies, your emotion, your thought is organized in one particular direction, your ability to create something is phenomenal. You are the creator by many ways. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Walter, for such an inspiring speech. So the next speaker for the round is Toastmaster Joy, who will be presenting level 3 part 1. So what a coincidence, L1P3 and L3P1. So Toastmaster Joy, can I open an envelope for you?
Does it have cash inside?
I wish I had.
Please go ahead.
Requesting timer to unshare the screen. I'm not able to share. Thank you.
Really sorry, really sorry.
So Toastmaster Joy, one positive habit I adopted this year.
Okay, well, it would have to be meditation, something that, I found it really boring all these years, but because I had a whole lot of time in my hands this year, I started to, actually fall into that practice of spending some time all by myself and also having that guided meditation. So there's some voice in the background, some nature sounds, something that actually helps you forget everything for the time being and then be able to go ahead and achieve a different world altogether. I don't know if I'm there yet as far as meditation is concerned. It's very, very difficult, but it does give me a sense of peace. So that's the one positive habit I think I was able to go out and achieve. And I should be able to go out and continue it for a while. Thank you.
It's a great habit to achieve, actually, meditation and mindfulness. Before handing over the stage to Toastmaster Joy, I would like to call upon the evaluator of Toastmaster Joy, Toastmaster Babu, to share the speech objectives. Over to you, Toastmaster Babu.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and our speaker Joy. What a joy it is once again to be here to evaluate your speech. Having known the speaker for his own brand of humor, we shall perhaps discover some more of it today, because he's going to engage us with yet another humorous speech, which will revolve around a central message. Now, this speech will be for 5 to 7 minutes, and being reminiscent of his past speeches, I'm sure that we are going to be in for a treat yet again today. So all the best to you, Mr. Speaker, and over to the Toastmaster of the Day.
So the topic for Toastmaster Joy is unsilent humor. So unsilent humor, Toastmaster Joy, unsilent humor, over to you.
I'm going to have to correct that. The title of the speech is Unsilent Night, not Unsilent Humor. So yeah, it's Unsilent Night. All right, so I'm ready now. Okay, so as a kid, I grew up watching Ramayana on Sunday mornings. And one day in school, when I was asked which character in Ramayana inspires me the most, I had said Kumbhakarna. And that sent shockwaves along the classroom. Kumbhakarna, my teacher said, that is Ravan's brother. Do you want to be a villain? But that is not how I saw him. I thought Kumbhakarna was highly misunderstood. Sure, he battled for the wrong team, but largely he was a man of peace. The two things that he loved most in the world was food and sleep. Everything else to him was noise. And had it not been for his wicked brother, I think the man would have been a superhero, our very own Thor, god of sleepover. He inspires me because if I could have only two things in life, it would have been exactly that, food and sleep, because everything else is noise. Anyway, fast forward to a few nights ago, as usual, I enjoyed my food and I went to sleep. But right in the middle of the night, I was woken up by a loud growling noise, like somebody left the washing machine on. So I looked around and I realized that it was my wife who was snoring loudly. Now, I had never heard her snore before, so you can understand my shock. I did not even know women could snore. I thought this was the exclusive privilege given to men, the only time when they can open their mouths and get away with anything. In fact, I remember someone once told me that the Adam's apple was the snoring machine. And larger the Adam's apple, the louder is the snore. So during matchmaking, a girl, among other things, also checks out the size of the Adam's apple to presume how loud the man snores. But anyway, coming back to my problem, this was no ordinary snore. Coming from a woman who was mostly soft-spoken, to the neighbors, I mean, it was not a gentle, soft whistle. It was more like you're sleeping on the tracks and there's a freight train coming. I could feel the vibrations on the bed. This is the kind of sound that inspires people like Elon Musk to make space shuttles and leave the planet for good. But I was no Elon Musk. I was more like Kumbhakarna. Quickly get rid of the problem and go back to sleep. So I decided to run a few checks, put my analytical skills to the test, the same skills that I had learned from watching a lot of Sherlock Holmes on TV. So I started by eliminating the impossible. It was dark, so I went closer to the victim. Okay, right now I'm calling her the victim, but you guys know who the real victim was, right? Me. So I had to take a closer look just to make sure I was in the right bed and this was still my wife. Turns out she was. Then I checked to see if her phone was missing. Now, she had this habit of watching Netflix in bed and falling asleep. Now, she may have been watching Godzilla and she fell off to sleep and the phone fell inside her mouth and the movie was still running. But that's not completely impossible, you know, but that was not the case. I found the phone lying next to the bed. So did she have COVID? They said Omicron starts with a scratchy throat, but this was no scratchy throat. The symptoms were more like, you know, she ate the bat that spread COVID. So I pitched her nose tight and she started breathing from her mouth. I shut her mouth and she started breathing from her nose again. So I shut both. Now I know what you guys are thinking, but look, you know, like the legendary Johnny Lever once said that when you're traveling in a helicopter and you start feeling cold, you have to turn off the fan. But she woke up all hassled and shocked and she asked what's wrong. And I told her about her snoring. And she said, good. Now that you're up, we can finish that talk. What talk? I asked her, and she recalled the talk that we were having earlier that day, which turned into an argument that I had won. Or at least I thought I had won, but it wasn't over. And therein lies the mystery. How stupid of me. Have any of you ever come across a married man who won an argument with his wife and lived to tell the tale? So she turned on the lights and the battle raged. And the visual was reminiscent of the battle in Ramayana. For every one arrow that I had darted at her earlier in the day, she returned with a bunch of arrows. And some of those arrows changed shapes to look like kitchen utensils. She completely dismembered me and then switched off the lights and went off to sleep. And as I sat there on my bed, I remembered the last words from Kumbhakaran just before he died. He said, Jai Shri Ram. I folded my hands and said, Jai Shrimati. Remember all you married men in the room, it ain't over if the fat lady snores. Thank you, and back at you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Your speech made me laugh very hard. Thank you. So I would request Timer to share the timing details of both the speeches.
Yeah. Thank you so much. The Volta took 7 minutes, 36 seconds. He's disqualified. And Joy took 5 minutes, 45 seconds. He's qualified.
If I may, there was some network lag in Walter's speech. So I think we can account for the extra.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I agree.
So Walter took 7 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay. Thank you.
Both are qualified. Yeah.
Thank you, Timer. So you must be knowing that Mr. Sundar Pichai, who is the CEO, current CEO of Google, has shared a 60-second speech. In this speech was, imagine a life is about 5 balls, which we try keep juggling in air, try not each to fall. And 5 balls were work, health, family, friends, and soul. And the catch over here is 1 ball is of rubber and rest all the 4 balls are of glass. We will not take much long time to understand the ball of rubber was work and rest all the balls were of glass. So when the ball of rubber falls on the floor, it can bounce back as it is. But whereas the ball of glasses falls on the floor, it gets damaged, cracked, bruised. So the point over here is we have to set our priorities correct. Try to, as we are juggling in our life with these 5 balls, try to make sure that the ball of glass doesn't fall back. So over this note, I would like to move towards the next round of table topic session. So we would like to call upon table topic master of the day, who is Toastmaster Urmila. Can you just spotlight? Yeah. Hello, Toastmaster Urmila. Can you allow me to open an envelope for you? as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 1 second. So the envelope says that one thing that I have learned this year about myself.
One thing that I learned about myself. So my husband always telling me that I am a really motivational person. So Toastmaster is a platform where I can prove myself. So that's why I I joined Toastmaster and started learning the public speaking, as well as I gain confidence a lot. So yeah, this thing I have learned in this year and at Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmaster and Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. So over to you, Toastmaster, to take up the table topic session.
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters. So the greatest challenges humans face throughout the year. Can anyone know? There are two challenges which human are faced throughout the year. Can anyone guess? Irrespective of wrong answer.
Wearing the mask is.
Can anyone try? Yeah.
Wearing the mask is greatest challenge of the year.
Yeah, it is year in the pandemic. Mask wearing, it is the greatest challenge, but yeah, for the throughout the our life.
Hunger, to remove hunger for
fighting with ourselves. Fighting with ourselves.
Anyone else? Yeah, fighting with ourselves is also a greatest challenge, but I must say, like, where to start? The first challenge, we are always thinking like we are planning to do something, but when to start or how to start. So the start is the greatest challenge, and the second will be when to start, when to close, like when to stop. So first will be where to start, and second will be when to stop. So these are the two challenges. So at Toastmaster, the table topic session allows us to practice and speak confidently in a safe and friendly environment. Now let me call the timer to give the timelines.
Yeah, Toastmaster Kumla. For the table topic, each speaker is encouraged to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. I will show the green card at the end of 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute, 30 seconds, and the red card at 2 minutes. For the table topic speeches, we have a grace period of 30 seconds only on the upper side of the time. I will present the timing report when called upon by the table topic master. Thank you.
Thank you, timer. So shall we start now? I can't see anyone has raised their hand.
Yeah.
Raghav.
Yep.
Yeah, so your topic will be what feels like the end is often the beginning. What feels the end is often the beginning.
Sorry, can you please repeat? What feels what?
What feels like the end is often like the beginning. Yeah.
Okay.
Over to you.
End is like the beginning. Okay. I think it reminds me that life moves in circles. Like, it's like a boomerang. Like whatever you do and everything in the end sums up, to its logical end, sums up to be zero. For example, in life we encounter maybe many challenges, for example. Okay, so we encountered one challenge, we did our best, and when we overcome it, we found a joy. So then we are at the peak of it. Then again, something comes up, a challenge, then we are going down, then we overcome that, then we again go up. So maybe, we feel that it is the end of it, but it's not. And that's what sums up to be the, life as a whole. And we sometimes, get too much involved in the nitty-gritties or the, depth of one single problem or, one single event, that we forget that as a whole, the sum up of all those things is what called is life. I think, yeah, that's what. Over to you.
Yeah, definitely. Ups and downs are part of our life, and how we tackle it's up to you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So next will be can anyone raise the hand or shall I call upon? Sudha ma'am?
Yeah, okay, I'm fine.
Okay. So for you, do not take life too seriously. Do not take life too seriously.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. I think you have posed a very important topic to the right person. And why I say that is, for me, I do sometimes take life very seriously. And that's a comment that I hear from my family for sure. And I think I need to probably try to change that in the future. And I think I have changed over the last 3-4 years more, because you suddenly realize that there is no point in taking everything so seriously, because it's not the end of the world. It's Hakuna Matata, and everything is fine, as long as you think it's fine. And I believe in that more, because how you look at a problem is very much decides how you are going to handle the problem. And even sometimes there is no problem and you make it out to be a problem. So I think I have realized that over the period of last 2-3 years, specifically because there have been few things in my life which has happened in the last 3-4 years, which has made me probably give more importance to not taking life too seriously, enjoy the move, enjoy the journey more than actually thinking about where it's actually going to be reaching, and if it's reaching at the right place. And also the most important thing I feel is that there is no use worrying about things which are not in your control. I think that's one segregation I've learned to do over the period of time, that once you start realizing that if there is anything that you can do about changing anything, then do it. If you can't do anything about it, which is not in your control, just enjoy the journey. And that's one thing I have realized, and I will try to become more, practical about it. And yes, enjoy life. I think that's my motive as well. Thank you. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So next. Can anyone raise the hand?
Toastmaster Vishal has raised the hand.
So Toastmaster Visha, for you, describe yourself in terms of food. Describe yourself in terms of food. Over to you, Toastmaster Visha.
Thank you, Table Topic Master Urmila. Describe myself in terms of food. So I believe I would go back to my icebreaker speech, wherein I clearly mentioned I'm pretty boring actually when it comes to like food, because even though there's so many options available these days, I just like to go with something which I really like, maybe like, a very standard set of breakfast, like maybe like a South Indian breakfast, and then maybe just have some regular fruits after that, and then just have my lunch and then dinner and so on. So yeah, I mean, sometimes it really kind of creates a conflict when we are going out, as friends, because I'm not so much of a guy who really like to experiment so much with food, and my friends, they always make fun of me because of that. but every now and again I do surprise them as well when I order something which is totally like, off the menu or something like that. So yeah, I mean, in terms of food, I guess it kind of changes with my mood as well. So maybe if I am sometimes in a very happy mood, I will probably try to experiment something. But sometimes if I'm just in my standard regular mood, I would just go with something which is more regular. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishal. Next will be Anurag. Okay. So, TM Anurag, for you, what's your favorite way to waste time online? What's your favorite way to waste time online? Over to you, Toastmaster Anurag.
Thank you, table topic, Toastmaster Mila, and good morning, everyone. What is the favorite way of wasting my time online? There are various ways now. You have so many options with so many social networking platform online. But I like to waste my time online going on YouTube, where I could watch various videos on different topics. If I am not getting any interesting topic, then I love to watch food channel, where I can explore new places, where I can go and explore exotic food. Because being a foodie, I love to eat new and exotic food. So that is one of the way I waste time. Second, I am like, whenever I go on bed, I like to hear stories. So there are a couple of channels on YouTube where you can listen stories and go off to sleep. These are the two things. Otherwise, complete total waste is Instagram, I believe. So that is where I if I don't find anything good on YouTube, then I go to Instagram. That is the worst thing I think we all have. But yeah, that is the one habit I have. These are the three things where I like to waste my time online. Over to you, Toastmaster Vina. Thank you.
Thank Toastmaster Anurag to sharing your experience wasting on time online. Okay, so I would like to ask question to Babu sir. Babu sir, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so for you, you're married, and I would like to ask you, like, how many years have you been married?
Oh my God, what a difficult question that.
I have second question for you. So this is the first one.
I can't believe that, Babu sir. You're in trouble.
Babu sir is calculating.
I hope
No,
is
what
not
you're
around.
asking the question. I thought you were showing me the screen.
No, I just asked you.
Oh,
So
okay.
the question is, how many years have you been married?
Oh, okay. I'll have to calculate now. It's 1988. So you can total that. Or it's about 32 years.
Okay, so your next question will be,
Yes, yeah. Huh?
the what smallest handcuffs, wedding rings? Do you think the what smallest handcuffs, wedding rings? Over to Toastmaster Babu.
Oh, Madam Toastmaster of the day, fellow Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I think with your Table Topics itself, you have put a handcuff around my mouth because I think this is going to be a very dicey topic. The only blessing in disguise is that my wife is not around to hear me. But yes, I don't think I really need a handcuff to celebrate or demonstrate that the wife is in charge of my life. I think the moment she put on the ring around my finger, that itself was like a handcuff around my wrist, I would say. And I think she has demonstrated that every now and then over the years to say that, listen, I am the boss of my house and you have only the permission to say that I am the boss, nothing beyond that. So I don't think I would really need a physical handcuff to tell the world that, hey, listen, that who is in charge of my life? I think she has made it explicit in many ways with her vocal way of speech. And I'm sure that one or two of the Toastmasters here know about that. But jokes apart, I think that all of us would really prefer a nice, huge wedding ring, which is more like a handcuff. But if I had told this to my father-in-law to put it around my, to buy one for me of this size, I'm sure that he would have said that you are rich enough to buy it for yourself. So anyway, that's what the handcuff and the ring mean to me at this stage of my life. So I don't really need any more rings to demonstrate that I have already experienced one huge handcuff. So over to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Babu. Thank you so much. Shall we continue table topic sessions or shall we stop? Do we have time?
You have time. You can continue.
Thank you, Toastmaster. So who will be the next? Deep or Joy?
Armila, I can go for it. Walter here.
Alter. Okay. So for TM Alter, hope for the best, expect the worst. Life is a play. We are unrears.
Sorry, can you come again? Hope?
Yeah, sure. Hope for the best, expect the worst. Life is a play. We are unrears. Over to you, Toastmaster Alter.
Yeah, thank you, and a very good topic, Toastmaster Urmila. Yes, we always hope for the best, but prepare for the worst, because life is coming up with different challenges, and change is a constant in our life. So if you today look back in our life, we always consider first in life, like we are hoping for everything will happen good. But then over the period, you learn the lessons, like you come across some other difficulties, and then you realize that this is not going to happen the way you think. And that's where we are getting trapped. Over the period, after certain year of experience and the way you move in your life, you realize that the best preparation is that prepare for the worst thing. Expect bare minimum things and then see how to turn around the things. That is the best thing you can do it in your life to keep yourself happy. Second, most important thing is that sometimes you'll have to wait and watch, because time is the best healer and time is the best thing to give you solution in your life. So according to me, just everyone like to have the feeling like it should happen the best thing the way they or they wanted it to be. But for me to live the life to your fullest, you'll have to give chance to the nature, you have to give the chance to the surrounding around you, and sometimes they will win, sometimes you will win. So it's a life, the balance is everywhere. And according to me, I think hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and take the new learning as your experience and move on. That's it from my end. Thank you.
Thank you, TM Walter. Yeah, it was really nice answer. Yeah, and yeah, I do agree with this. Next will be.
Okay, bring it on.
Joy. Okay, for Joy, what are some of your guilty pleasures? What are some of your guilty pleasures? Over to you, Joy.
Guilty pleasures. Well, if you paid attention to my speech earlier on, one of them is, of course, food. Food is something that really tempts me, and I can go ahead and switch off the entire world and just go ahead and fall in love with food. Now, I'm the kind of person who, when they offer the buffet, right? I start with the dessert first. Because life is short, so I start with the dessert first. And I skip the salads because I know that's a tactic. That's a clever strategy to go ahead and get you full before you actually get to the main course. So I skip the salads and I get to the main course because So that's the kind of person I am. No nonsense, get straight to the stuff. So food is one of those guilty pleasures. Another one of those guilty pleasures is spending a whole lot of time, on most of these OTT platforms. So I like watching a whole lot of documentaries. I like watching a whole lot of content on Netflix and Amazon Prime, because it kind of helps me to go ahead and live a whole lot of different lives, through those characters who are part of that OTT platform. And binge watch. So if I like something, I really go ahead and just binge watch the entire series. So I'm sitting on my recliner and I'm just watching the entire series back to back until I come to the end. And then I watch it again. So if I really love it, I watch it again. So those are the two guilty pleasures that I can think of now. Of course, there are far too many table topics, Master Urmila. Some of them I can't reveal here on this platform. It falls on one of those taboo topics. So I'm going to leave it at this for now. Okay, so thank you, and back to you, table topics master.
Thank you, TM Joy. I think almost all have done. Deep, you would like to go?
Yeah, sure, if time permits.
Okay, so for TM Deep, a new year, a new beginning, a new challenges, a new opportunities. A new year, a new beginning, a new challenges, a new opportunities. Over to you, Toastmaster Deep.
Thank you so much, table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. The most difficult step in any journey that we take in life is the first step. Whenever we start something new, something that we don't know, something that we are not good at, it is the most difficult thing. Imagine if you are 6 foot tall, in perfect shape, full muscular, how hard is it for you to go to the gym? It's not hard at all. You just walk in, people expect someone like you will go to the gym. But imagine yourself 275 pounds, very overweight, barely able to walk, very ashamed of your physical stature and your health. How hard is it now to go to the gym? This is what is required, and this is the inspiring side that I look forward to. Be it a new year, there is a new beginning. There are opportunities, but there are challenges. And when you start something, the first step is the hardest, because second step is easier than the first. The first time you go to the gym, there will be everyone will be looking at you as if, who has arrived? Will he break all the equipment? Let me just side my equipment before he gets on. The second time, people expect that, okay, there is a fatso in the gym. The third time, people get used to it. And the fourth time, you will be a lot slimmer than you came in the first. And the momentum usually builds up. So just remember, as you are approaching this new year, you will take new resolutions, and as there will be new opportunities. The most challenging part will be accepting the first step. Always remember, in Toastmasters or anywhere else, the first step is the hardest, and the first speech is the hardest. Thank you, and back to you, table topic master, Toastmaster.
Thank you, TM Deep. Yeah, first step is always hardest. Second, you will learn. Thank you so much. May I call timer with the time guidelines?
Yeah, thank you so much, table topic master Urmila. It was fantastic. It looks like it's all fixed. All the speeches are fixed. Yeah, Toastmaster Raghav took 1 minute 4 seconds. Toastmaster Sudha took 2 minutes 6 seconds. Toastmaster Vishal took 1 minute 21 seconds. Toastmaster Anurag took 1 minute 32 seconds. Toastmaster Babu sir took 2 minutes 9 seconds. Toastmaster Walter took 1 minute 45 seconds. Toastmaster Joy took 1 minute 43 seconds. Toastmaster Deep took 2 minutes 5 seconds. And all were qualified. Thank you.
Thank you, timer Ajay. So with that, I'm closing this time table topic. Thank you so much. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Urmila. That was an amazing table topic round session. moving towards the next round, before getting into the next and final evaluation round, as we are entered into the last week of the year, this is the most excitement and fun-filled thing which has cropped in everyone's life every year. Every year, last week of December is more of excitement. And why not? Because we are entering into a new chapter of our life and also a new slate. So as it is said that the life is a garden, like with flowers, weeds and thorns. So it's very important for us to contemplate ourselves before entering into the next year, to understand what are the flowers of our life to continue, what are the weeds of the life to discard, and what fertilizers can we add to improvise the fruitfulness of the garden of a life. Taking an example, the flowers of my life would be, I started practicing mindfulness. I would like to continue. The weed for my life is like binge watching. It should discard from my life. And the fertilizer is joining the Toastmaster Club, which will help me to actually grow better in my life. So over this note, I would like to welcome the general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Sudha. So Toastmaster Sudha, can I open an envelope for you? Also?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Second. Sorry. Able to see my screen?
Yep.
The best gift I received this year.
Yeah. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and in particular Toastmaster of the Day. For me, the best gift received so far in this year has definitely been the fact that I found a great help in Mumbai, which the house made. So for me, yeah, I know the men must be laughing. I said, come on, what the hell? But believe me, I mean, it has been a great help because I moved from the Middle East to Bombay, and I had a consistent maid for almost 15 years. And when she left, I was in complete doldrums. So I think that was the biggest gift. And I think she will stay with me for a long time. So it is the biggest gift so far. Thank you. So I can spend more time on Toastmasters as well.
I agree. I agree that it is the best gift. So moving on to the evaluation round, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. And the general evaluation role is basically to try and bring out the areas of improvement in meetings, along with also conducting the general evaluation for the prepared speeches. So I would like to first start with the general evaluation of the prepared speeches. And to start with the evaluation, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Deep to conduct the evaluation for the first speech, which is for the speaker, Toastmaster Walter. Over to you, Toastmaster Deep.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Sudha. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, it is said, if the why is strong enough, the how is easy. And this message was so beautifully painted by Toastmaster Walter in his speech by giving awe-inspiring examples of two personalities, Anandibai Joshi and Pandita Ramabai. In our lives, the best act that we will remember towards the end of our life are acts of kindness that we do for someone else. Not that we bought a smaller car or a bigger car. And that message was so beautifully painted. Toastmaster Walter started out by narrating the story of Anandibai Joshi, that how despite so many challenges in her personal life, starting from losing her parents to losing her brother, then losing her husband, and a 23-year-old having a daughter to take care of. And at the end, even losing her daughter, still throughout her entire life, dedicating herself to the cause of helping others, be it through teaching, be it through helping people that are in famines, and a lot of different ways. So that was a very inspiring message, Toastmaster Walter. Another thing that I really liked about the speech was the twist at the end. We expect that someone who does so much charity and helps so many people out, at the end of their life will be very peaceful. But when Toastmaster Walter, you mentioned that at the end of the life, when she lost her child, and that is something that she could not come out of, and that led to her own demise. That makes us feel that life is very temporary. That instead of saying that, okay, let me first take my slice of the pie and then help others, the other's pie might not be there, because we never know when life ends. In terms of recommendations, if I have to, I only have two. The first is I observed that a lot of times when you were speaking, you were looking up. There was eye contact a lot of times, but sometimes I feel when you are thinking, it might come as a natural habit, you were looking up. So if you could just avoid that and just look at the camera and the screen, next time when you rehearse, it would be a lot more emphasizing as a speech. That is one small. And the second suggestion is, if you could restructure your speech, starting with the message that you have at the end, that is the right place and right time, all that we need in our life, or is there something else? And then you can take us through the story. And then at the end, you can say that the right place and right time is not everything. We must also be the right person. If that structure was there, the message would have been a lot more emphatic. Message would have been a lot more emphasizing, and you could also reminiscent on your introduction in your conclusion. But all in all, it was a very inspiring message and a very inspiring story. Every time, Toastmaster Walter, you speak, there is something or the else that we take home. Thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward to more speeches from you in the future. Just these two small suggestions will help you take the speech to the next level. Thank you. And back to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Sir.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deep. And indeed, it's a pleasure to always watch Toastmaster Walter deliver his speech, completely original and from the heart. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deep. And over to our next evaluator, Toastmaster Babu, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Joy's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Babu.
Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and our humorous speaker, Toastmaster Joy in particular. We've all heard of Joy's speeches in the past, and I'm sure that each and every one of us has left this session with a huge smile or a bit of laughter. And today, Toastmaster Joy did not disappoint. In fact, he took his humor to a different level, I would say. We've all known him for his wacko sense of humor, but today it was wacko, and should I use the word self-deprecating, honest humor. For you to bring your wife out of the closet and have a dig at her like this for about 5 minutes at odd really needs a lot of guts, and kudos to you, Toastmaster Joy. He had shocking elements when he said, all of you look at Kumbhakarn as one of those not so good or useless kind of a brothers. But no, if you have a passion for sleep and food, what's wrong with that? And to me, that was a huge shocking element. I mean, in the very positive sense, I would say. So Toastmaster Joy literally had us in splits almost from the start to the finish. And I really lost count of the dollops of humor that he was dishing out from time to time, much like the foodie that he is, and he gorges at the desserts and all of that. I think I really had a tough time gorging at the slices of humor that he was dishing out from time to time. And I would just like to highlight a few, which I thought were excellent, where he spoke of his wife snoring like the sound of a freight train. I mean, I have heard of this. I have also said that to a few, but I think to say that in public is something. And I think the icing or the one that really took my breath away was when he said it was almost like she had a phone in her mouth and Godzilla was still playing. I think you really need a different, like I said, a wacko sense of humor to be able to come out with all of this. What was the highlight of this speech was the audience engagement, and not for a minute that I could take my eyes, ears, or any part of my body off the speech that Toastmaster Joy was delivering. Now, well, he ticked almost all the boxes as far as the prime objective of the speech was concerned, in terms of humor, in terms of the structure, the characters, personal examples. Perhaps the one point that I would have liked him to highlight was, hey, what was the message really? Was it about Kumbhakarn? Was it about your wife snoring? What was the message really? And I thought perhaps he could have just said this, that we have always slotted people or characters into different buckets. But if we look into their traits and analyze them carefully, like I did with Kumbhakarn or my own wife, I'm sure that you will start enjoying their idiosyncrasies and perhaps even applying it to your own lives. So probably come out with one kind of an example. And I think that would have really taken your speech to a different level. But overall, I think you really did full justice to all the objectives of the speech, the main thing of which was humor. And in your own beautiful, wonderful way, you've also discovered where your strong points of your speech lies. So all the best to you, and please dishing out these humorous speeches more and more in future. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Babu, for your excellent evaluation on an excellent speech. I think I also did ask Joy as to how did you gather the courage to deliver the speech at home? And I also warned him that he will have to face hell after this meeting, and it would have to start with a Zomato order. To that he said, a married man has no fear. Anyway, going on with the proceedings of the general evaluation, I would like to call upon the timer for the timer report, please.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Just before we get on to the timer report, I would also ask the polling to be happening in the background so that we don't waste time on that as well. Yes, over to you, timer.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Sudha. Toastmaster Deep took 3 minutes 24 seconds. Toastmaster Babu sir took 4 minutes 1 second. He's not disqualifying, and he's disqualifying.
Sometimes I really feel it is unfair to the other evaluator or the role player that one person is indisciplined. So maybe I think we should still have some voting, at least in future. That's for our presiding officer to think over.
When Babu sir is in question, time is always a problem. Then I don't mind. I mean, I leave everyone else to take.
Maybe I was born at the wrong time. That's why I go wrong with time always.
No, you just have so much to talk. Yeah, and we enjoy listening to you. Yes. Ajay, would you also like to, you have done the timing?
Yeah, I didn't.
Prepared and the table topic
speeches,
and the
table
general
topic, and
evaluation.
evaluation.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay. Thank you so much. We move on to the R counter report, please. And to deliver the same, I would ask Toastmaster Vishal to be spotlighted. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Sudha. So for the R counter, I am starting off with Toastmaster Sudha. She had 4 clutch sounds and 1 filler phrase. Toastmaster Shama had 3 clutch sounds. Toastmaster Ajay had 1 clutch sound, 1 filler word, and 1 long pause. And Toastmaster Hardik had 1 clutch sound. Toastmaster Walter had more than 5 clutch sounds, 1 filler word, and 1 long pause. Toastmaster Joy was doing pretty fine in his speech until the other one where he got like 3 crutch sounds. And then Toastmaster Urmila had 2 crutch sounds. Toastmaster Raghav had 1 crutch sound. Toastmaster Anurag had 2 crutch sounds. And Toastmaster Babu had 3 crutch sounds. Back to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Sudha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vishal. Now we would like to move on to the grammarian's report for the meeting. And to deliver the same, I would call upon Toastmaster Hardik, who's been the grammarian of the day. Thank you. You're muted, Hardik. You'll have to start again.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters. Toastmaster Walter, he used his instead of her for Pandita Ramabai when he was describing. And Toastmaster Mila, she used can anyone know instead of using do anyone know while asking questions. List, I could not find any improper use with other fellow Toastmasters. Over to you, Toastmaster Subha.
Grammarian, you would also like to talk about the usage of the word of the day and also not so good usage of the language.
Actually, no one used word of the day in the meeting.
No, that's not true according to me, but that's okay. I'm sure there were a lot of them, but it's okay. I think next time just keep a note for that word of the day whenever you hear it, so that you remember when you're there. I think Babu sir, Deep sir, Joy, I think Walter also, if I'm not mistaken, and Vishal. I don't know if I don't remember. But anyways, as a grammarian of the day, try to keep a record of the, if you have that log, you can just keep writing as the speech goes on. Okay, no worries. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hardik. And now I move on to the evaluation of the meeting. I think the meeting started 2 minutes late with the SAR introduction, and it was on the dot. It was perfect. He covered the objectives of the Toastmaster. Oh, 1 second. Yeah, he covered on the spot. He was on the spot in the coverage of the Toastmasters objectives and what are the rules of a Toastmaster meeting. He was absolutely fine. And then came the presiding officer's address by yours truly. And then we went on to getting onto the theme of the meeting, which was conducted by the Toastmaster of the day. And I must say, she did a wonderful job in trying to realign the 3 R's of today's meeting, which is recharge, rewind, and also resolutions. And she did a beautiful job on getting prepared to introduce the role players in terms of the PPT and how she had a unique way of an envelope which was opening, which also went in line with the Boxing Day, which was a part of the PO's address, where we always talk about gifts. And yes, there was a little bit of that mystery when you were going to open the envelope and what is it that you're going to ask us. So very unique way. And I also checked with the PR rock stars of our club that it was absolutely brand compliant. So kudos to that. I like the initiative. So keep it up. Bring up new ways of presenting your role. This is the stage for that. This is the forum, and keep doing different things, unique ways, and it'll be wonderful to experience that uniqueness and creativity in every meeting of ours. Then we went on to the prepared speeches, and we had 2 wonderful speakers. Wonderful speakers and very, very original in their own way. I mean, Walter, like I mentioned, Walter has always been, he comes across as such a sincere person, even in his duty and responsibilities as a SAR and a part of the ExCom member. And I really want to, give an applaud for that. I mean, that's the consistent streak he has. And that was brought into his speech as well today. And his speech was coming back from the initial speeches that he started with, trying to look for those leaders who have a unique way of leaving an impression, a mark on our lives. And he brought forth that so beautifully in his speech. And he connected it so humbly with himself and his difference and his disparity in the way how probably he is trying to conduct his life and how these great achievers are. And that was a very strong message which he connected with the audience. And I'm sure I'm going to remember that. I like those last 3-4 lines of yours in terms of how different the approach is and how doing it with your heart and doing it with your mind is where the difference really lies. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Walter. Then we went on to Toastmaster Joy. What can I say about Toastmaster Joy? I think the first thing I need to tell him is please conduct an education session for our club members. Now that we are having an ISC speech coming, we would like to hear from you how you come around making these humorous speeches. I mean, it's not a humorous contest, but we can always add humor to our ISC speeches. So I think, like they say in Hindi, we need to appreciate our own warriors of our own club. So let's start. We don't need outside people. We have a great Toastmaster and speaker like Joy. So I think, Joy, you need to give us some time on that, right? I hope you can take this request from us. Yeah.
I will only add one more thing. Also tell us what really do you eat to get those brain cells working.
Yes, absolutely. I think I connected that to in his first 2 speeches, which is the weirdness quotient. I think it's important for a person to have a high weirdness quotient to be able to render this kind of humor in every speech of his. So this speech was not different in any way, considering Joy being the speaker. He communicated a very normal problem in a married couple. And I think if nobody has experienced it so far, then I think you're really out of the box. I am also witness to it. And we have ways to circumvent the whole problem. And I think Joy had a unique way to express the problem. And I think he went around connecting so many real issues, which was really hilarious. I don't know what to say. I mean, I was just, dumbfounded in terms of his speech. And I think you really have to worry about your wife after this. I really, really wonder what she's doing. Or you must have locked her up in a room next door and you must have said, okay, I'll come and meet you at 1 o'clock. If that was what you did, great preparation, but beware. If I was in your wife's place, it's going to be a tough job on you for sure. So great speech. We really enjoyed it. And I think we need to learn from you. Moving on to the table topics master, which was Toastmaster Urmila. The first time she has done the table topics session, and you conducted it beautifully, seamlessly. There was a lot of joy and excitement in the way you presented it, a laughter, a connect when you were introducing the participants as well with the message that you wanted them to talk on. There are only a couple of things that I would like to tell you, Toastmaster Urmila, is that try to be very clear in your title when you're introducing the title. The titles were not very clear. I think even if you have to go slow, and also the pronunciation is very important, because table topics you only hear and the mind starts thinking on what you hear. So it's very, very important as to how you communicate the topics, and the speaker then takes it on and starts talking about it. It's also important for you to have a theme. I mean, this is a suggestion, maybe a theme or a topic which is related to the theme of the day, maybe. because there were a lot of different topics that was, introduced to the speakers. One was end is like the beginning, don't take life seriously, describe yourself in terms of food, wasting time online. So handcuffed, wedding ring, hope for the best, guilty pleasures, they're all over the place. So I feel that even a little bit of preparation in that sense would have helped. And the speakers also know that, okay, this could be the context of the speech that is expected. Now, yes, you can be tough on the speakers and not give them any clue. That can be another approach. But I think it helps even for the audience to be able to move into the next topic easily. So that could be the two suggestions that you can definitely employ when you're doing it next. And maybe if you're not very clear, it's a good way to probably put it up on the PPT, or a way that you can introduce the topic on the screen so that people can read it and there's no mistakes on it. So after the table topic session, we went on to the general evaluation. And the Toastmaster of the day filled us with the different examples in between how we juggle our different roles and how we do have to look upon our the whole year for different moments of inspiration and reminiscence, where we got to know a lot about our members. Definitely, like the professional success of Ajay, which was the most important goal that he received, the skills that you acquired over the year, which is a negotiation skill. I think Toastmaster Hardik. And the other one, the obstacle, which was the challenge to overcome over the year, was the anger management, I think. And Toastmaster Walter, basically you went through everybody's lives to be able to bring it up in terms of like a rewind. And also we got to know our members a little better. So thank you so much in your whole format of the speech. And then we went on to the evaluation session. Now, the evaluation session was conducted by Toastmaster Deep. And I think the way he conducted the evaluation was perfect. There was nothing which I felt was out of the way in any way. But I think the only thing I feel that maybe you could have encouraged the speaker, Toastmaster Walter, to get to another level in terms of also being able to talk to the audience. Now, that was one thing which I also feel Walter has come a long way, I know. And I think in the way that he starts communicating to the audience, there was a lot of difference between a narration and talking, right? So when you narrate a speech and you are talking to the audience, there is a difference. Of course, it comes with time and experience and a lot of practice. The more you come on stage, you get used to that. But I think, Walter, you can start moving into that. You've been very good at your contents and your delivery. Maybe you can start not feeling so nervous and start talking to us with more eye contact. I think that is one thing which you can work on. And as far as Babu sir's evaluation is concerned, it'll be like choti muh or badi baat. So I don't have anything much to say on that. Yes, we know what the problem is when Babu sir comes on stage. I don't have much to say on that. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Babu. And with that, I would like to say that an excellent meeting, the last meeting of this year. Good that you all kept other things aside and was present today for the meeting. Kudos to that. That shows the spirit of our club, and let's continue this. And with that, I would like to hand it over to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. On the closing note, I would like to share a small story. Long ago in the Banaras city, there were two friends. They both studied high school together. And one of the friends went abroad to study for the higher studies and had started his own business. After he became a successful businessman, he thought that I'll come back to my hometown, which is Banaras. And he thought to meet his old friend. When he was about to meet his friend, he came to know that his friend has become a priest because his dad was a priest. So when these both friends met together, they actually they were so emotional and they poured their hearts out because they remembered their high school days. But the priest friend didn't know that this my friend has become a successful businessman. He has come from abroad and everything. So the priest friend said to an NRI businessman that, look, now you are here in this city again. If you want to start your anything on your own, there is a 20,000 rupees which I have saved all long life, and that's what I have. I can give it to you to start. That businessman friend was so ecstatic with joy, and he was so emotional that time, thinking that how grateful my friend was. Later, this businessman, the NRI businessman, become a business tycoon. And once in the news channel, there was an interview, and the interviewer asked, "What is your sutra for the success?" So the businessman remembered, told the story of his this high school friend who gave me, and he said that how grateful he was having that friend. So he said, "My sutra for success is gratitude towards what I have." Gratitude is thanking actually what I have, thanking them anything which we have given. So it is said that when we have gratitude towards anything, the universe gives us more. So on this note, I would like to end my session, and I would like to hand it over to the presiding officer of the day. Thank you.
I didn't know that the stage is going to come back to me so soon back. Great. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Let us all put our hands together and congratulate the Toastmaster of the Day and also all the different role players who have made this meeting a successful one. Thank you so much. Deep, do we have the awards?
Please vote for the best Big Three role play for today's meeting. Thank you.
We have some time at the end of this session as well. If everybody stays back, we can do something different, if that's okay with everyone. We have 12:45, so if we finish the award ceremony and we have no guests, we can do something different. Joy, you have to remain. And 15 minutes, that's it. It'll finish on time, unless your wife is calling you. Yeah, okay. So do we have the awards, Deep? So a great meeting today, and I think the next meeting we are not going to have a session. It's being around the New Year's, and I'm sure everybody is going to be on a holiday and coming back and recharge themselves to come back to routine. So next meeting we won't have. The meeting which will be held will be now on the 9th of January, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And that will be the meeting for the area director will be also joining us, Pooja, as well as it will be an installation of the new ExCom members. And there will be a normal prepared speeches. We will try to incorporate some table topics as well. And that's when the hands would change in terms of the roles that the ExCom will play. And we will try to move on to the new ExCom members to take up their responsibilities and start delivering their job responsibilities. Yeah. So with that, let me get on to the award ceremony. The best prepared speaker is none other than Toastmaster Walter. Can we have the drum roll? Is it possible? The best table topics speaker goes to Toastmaster Joy. Are we taking pictures, guys, with the certificate and the photo?
Yes, Sudha, we are taking.
Okay, great. Thank you all. Thank you, Ritik. You've been very quiet.
Yeah.
Next award is the best auxiliary speaker, role player. goes to Toastmaster Vishal. The best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Deep. And congratulations to all the awardees, and keep up the good work and deliver as much as possible quality and excellence. Learn from whatever we could do to change in terms of our improvement, and I'm sure we'll be rocking as a club